That's such a practical advice of doing your own QuickBooks
Yeah.
for just a month. And then
Yeah.
I also talked to some people, and I remember, I think I recommended last week to someone, just build a habit on January of next year, like pause all your credit cards and let all these automatic charges just decline.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will come back to you. They'll find a way to send you an invoice, but just see what happens and reevaluate all the subscriptions. If they do need to be continued, continue. If you don't, don't. But I feel like there's so many things, so many charges. And on top of it, what really worries me is, again, talking about the challenges of the private practices, the credit cards, the passwords are so wide in the open. You just don't know a lot of times. Like I've had a lot of offices, just like credit cards that are being handed left and right. And I would do it if I would be my business. I would do it every 6 months. I would just literally cancel all the credit cards, renew them. Yes, it's painful, but guess what? You're not going to get charged. And I think the other part that's interesting, everything seems hard looking at it from the outside. So like it sounds really hard to do your own QuickBooks. But once you start doing your own QuickBooks, you're like, wait a minute. So why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And why is this happening? Why does this cost so much? And then guess what? You're actually automating it to the point where instead of paying maybe somebody one amount, you can pay 2 hours a week because everything is automatically. Or maybe you come into work 30 minutes early, you knock it out every day, 3 transactions a day, or 15 transactions a day. That would take you 30 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many practical things that seem really huge and difficult on the outside. But like, let's be honest, with 10 people, 10 employees, your payroll should be automatic, right? There's not much to do there. And then you're just watching expenses. You're just looking at credit cards and reconciling credit cards, which is not hard to do, right? But it's going to give you so much business sense of where you're spending your money. And then at the end, when you're done, just look at the, like you said, the P&L for the previous month. And it's really cool to look at month by month statements. So this is our January, this is our February, this is where we at. But
Yeah,
why do you think
that's
it seems
great.
so hard?
Well, it's just unknown. Like you're not taught QuickBooks. You're not taught, balancing ledgers and sheets. Like it's just nothing that you get experience with. And so what the unknown is always intimidating. Um, the advice I would give though, and I love how you mentioned that they should experience that, but the one thing you want to make sure your accountant still looks over, because you don't want to be categorizing expenses into areas where they don't go, because there's tax benefits for certain categories. So
Right. You
if
can
you're
get really
missing it, you're
creative.
putting it in the wrong. Yeah. You want to make sure your accountant's looking over where you're categorizing, but you should categorize it. You should go over them and make sure, whether you're categorizing them or not. And, like it's, as long as you're seeing every line item, I think that's the essential part. Make sure there's a professional that's overlooking things, because you don't want to get into fraud or go into